U luistert naar de Deze Podcast, gepresenteerd door Paul de Vries. Elke week praat Paul met interessante gasten over actuele online automotive onderwerpen. De Deze Podcast wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door Nieuweautokopen.nl, Marktplaats, Autodata Nederland, taGGleAuto, Bovemij, UnameIT en Tevreden.nl.
I don't point fingers. There is no right answer. There is no, hey, the US is better than you and you guys don't know and you're behind. It's nonsense. We all sell automobiles in our market. We all have different things that work and don't work. We're seeing things that are happening a little ahead of other countries. Other countries are doing things that we go and we bring back. So again, there is no right or wrong. As I said, my goal is to inspire questions. As I said, no right or wrong answers. I'd rather you walk out of here with questions, meaning I should go back and ask. And my goal is to give you actionable things that you can do. Because I've sat through workshops and a lot of talk up here, right? Oh, it sounds great. And you walk out and go, I have no idea what the heck to do with that information. And you go back and go, well, that was fun. The coffee was good and everything else like that. So we're going to dive in. Paul gave me almost 2 hours, which is a long time. In the middle, there might be a little break slide and you can stand up, do whatever you want. And like I said, if you got to run to the restroom, whatever, get a drink, doesn't offend me, do what you got to do, all right? So the big question is, what is this all about, this experience marketing? And we'll dive into all of these. I tried to frame what I'm talking about in the 5 stages that I think marketing's going towards or is halfway headed there. As I said, some of these conversations I have with dealers who are our personal clients as well as going to speak. It is still a changing marketplace. Automotive as an industry sometimes is a little behind other e-commerce businesses. The way we shop in terms of going out looking at restaurants and vacations or just shopping online for things, when we get into the automotive space, we're still dragging, thinking that, well, the car, it's different. It's not that different anymore, and we have to be ready for our customers, and that's really what this is experience marketing is about. So before that, who am I and why the heck should you listen to me, right? So that's my family, my wife and 2 kids. I grew up in New Jersey, one of 5 boys. Blue collar is blue collar. You can be middle class, right? Worked very hard. Moved to New York City, wanted to be an actor, which means I worked in restaurants for most of my life. Hospitality and restaurants really informed what I brought to automotive, because I did everything in restaurants, from cooking to bartending, managing and setting things up. And automotive is very much like restaurants. I find a lot of similarities. Very crazy, very fast paced. It's not for everybody. You have to multitask, but that sort of chaos that happens every day, there's still that framework. Tomorrow we come back in and it's new chaos. It's fun, but you have to have the processes. If you don't have the processes, everything breaks down, then it really is chaos. I like organized chaos. It's fun that way, because it's like sports. You all have rules, go out and play, but every game's a little bit different. One of the reasons why I like this slide, not just because I'm proud of my family, but the 2 boys. Who has young children? Mine are almost 10 and 11 and a half, right? How many of them, do they have patience? Any of your kids have patience? No, none whatsoever, especially when it comes to the internet and online. The reason is we hear a lot of talk, especially in the US, about marketing to millennials. That's the big buzzword this last year. And to me, it's just really silly, because it's just throwing another bucket out there of something we think we know. But within every bucket, there are motivated and non-motivated people. There's people my age that are not motivated. So you can't just say, oh, millennials are not motivated, they're lazy or whatever. The bigger issue is that those 2 boys, in about 6-7 years, which frightened me, they're going to be going out there thinking about cars. The thing is, they've never known a desktop computer. Never. They know 2 things, iPad phone, maybe a laptop. Maybe. That's for schoolwork, but that's not for when they're just fun and whatever. Everything has to be designed for them. They don't understand slow speeds. They look at you like you're crazy why does it take so long? I watch them. They're my little test case. They try to go find something. If it's not like this, they're on to something else. It's broken, Dad, it's broken. And God forbid the Wi-Fi goes out. Holy God, the world's over. Right, exactly. The reason I'm saying that is that a lot of what we're talking about is how we have to design things for them in the future, right? Without alienating all the rest of the people, so it's a tricky little thing here. So I work for a company, PCG. As you can see, I got a lot of millennials working for me, right? A lot of them. That's half of the team. So we do a lot of different things. The reason, again, the reason I post that up there is we're practitioners. Everything I'm going to tell you and we talk about, we do day in and day out. So this isn't, again, we didn't learn this on, I watched the presentation, I stole people's slides, and we learned this. Part of this, or most of this, is built from the customers that we deal with every single day, right? So we have, in our company, we have an agency side, which has grown into a consultative side, which has grown into education. So I do speaking, and we do training and things like that. Those three words for us, and I want to stay on this just for a second, that's our philosophy. We advocate for dealers. We write a lot of research papers. We write a lot. My brother and I write all the time about things that we see that we think could affect the industry. Right? Not just, we're going to keep all this information for ourselves and our clients, we want to share. So if we see something going on, a lot of our research papers come from the fact that our account managers will come and say, can you look at these analytics? These look really crazy. Something's wrong. All of a sudden we do more research and we find something else and we go, and we push out to social media. Anybody else seeing this? And then all of a sudden we write something. We educate. Everything we do with our clients is education. We want them to be smart. I applaud the fact that you guys are all here. Because just think of all of the other people who are not here. You're trying to find a way. You're recognizing that the world's changing, marketing's changing. How can I get education, right? And then elevation. Our clients, we always feel, are doing really great in their market, right? So much that they don't want to tell people that they use us so that nobody else comes, but that's a separate thing. So we write, as I said, we have 3 books. The orange book I use currently teaching up at Northwood University, which is the counterpart in the US to AFA? Okay, good. I keep getting it wrong. One of these days I'll get it right. 2 years ago I started. They never had a full semester. Think about this. 4-year degree, automotive marketing, management, never had a full semester of digital marketing. Right? So I called them up and said, hey, we have a book. They said, we've been looking for content. Got content, will you teach it? Sure. So I fly to Michigan from New Jersey and go teach a course. Crazy, but I love it. And then these are the other ones. This Selling Cars in the Digital Age, we updated it, but it is translated into Dutch. So it is available here. Those are lead handling process, things like that. Every year, we also understand all the technology out there. So when we're coming to our clients and we talk about website platforms, we talk about CRMs and all the new widgets, that's because we audit it. And in the US, there's really no third-party place. It's a dealer, right? All of you dealers, majority of your dealers, think about it. If you're changing a product, where are you going to get third-party, a review of this product other than their marketing? Right? So this is available every year. The new one will be out at NADA. So enough about us. Okay, so let's dive in. That's just framework so you think I know what I'm talking about. All right. How many of you have heard of ZMOT, Zero Moment of Truth? Okay, so there's a bunch of you who haven't. Let me explain this. In 2011, Google introduced this concept of zero moment of truth. What they did was first moment and second moment. Procter & Gamble, a big manufacturer of things like laundry detergents and soaps, they came up with a marketing philosophy that said, stimulus, what we call offline or traditional marketing, radio, TV, print. If I push out my message to you through, this is way before the internet, right? So I heard it on TV, read it, heard it on the radio. First moment of truth, when I went into the supermarket or marketplace to go buy something, I would look and scan the aisle and I would see the name or see the colors, hear the jingle, recognize it, first moment of truth, take it, buy it, go home. Second moment of truth was I used it, did I like it or I didn't like it? And then I would tell my small circle of friends, this is great. The goal is if it was great, I would stay with it, right? That always went on. What Google said was, when the internet came around, there was a new stop, okay? Still had stimulus, right? Zero moment of truth was, we all go online to research. Think of your behavior right now. How many of you are guilty of watching television with an iPad or your phone right next to you? Anyone? Right. And if you see something on TV, knee-jerk reactions, let me see what that's about. That's what happens. Before, I would see that and go, I better get in my car and go there. Now we don't get off the couch, okay? We're lazy because we're spoiled. The game's changed, as you know. What they're also saying for zero moment of truth was, remember pre-internet, right? Way back when. Who had all the information? Who was in charge of the transaction of buying a car? Who had the information? Yep, dealers, you guys did. I had to come in to you. You were all powerful. I had to trust you. It's reverse now. I have the information. I can sit on my couch and I can find everything I want about your vehicles, your service, your competitors, who you are, all online. So zero moment of truth, what they're saying is your job is to dump information into there so that you're found. That's what we're sort of going to talk about. This is this whole online marketing thing that everybody keeps talking about, like, what is it? I try to speak in very common language. I don't think of myself as that smart in that way. I just talk common sense. That's what it means. It's what we do. So if I'm thinking about a car or I'm thinking about, and if you think about, common sense, I use it a lot. When do you get a car? When you need one. When do I get my car fixed? When the light on the dashboard is doing something strange. I go online now. Knee-jerk reaction, pull out my phone. Who is it? Where can I get it done? You need to be there. The problem with what this was, and this was great, but it's 5 years and nobody's ever updated it. There's two pieces that are missing, and that's what we're going to talk about in this full circle and how this affects you. Before you can advertise stimulus, radio, TV, print, or anything, even before anybody goes online, you have to decide, right, who you are and what's going on. So let's think about this. I like Harry Potter, okay? So if I said to you go back, if we could all travel back and know what we know and go back and do business again, you can't, because that's like those movies where you go back, if you do something and adjust it, it screws the future up. Harry Potter, we take the memory out, right? Throw it in the bowl and we can look at it and see what's going on. So let's take a trip back, like I said, back before the internet, right? Before all of this craziness we would advertise, people would come in, and what were they? They were serious, right? If they wanted something, they came in. That philosophy still hangs around, which ties into what Paul was saying about lead handling. You know, the emails are not that serious. If they're really serious, they'd come in. They're doing their research. They're deciding if you should stay on their consideration list to get off the couch and get in the car, all right? So before the internet, I don't know if you guys had this, but in the States, this is their daily log. That's how a manager, an owner knew if their marketing was working. If I left and I came back, if we got a lot of appointments and people are showing up and we're selling cars, things are good. If it's not, and it's real small, that's not good. What's going on? Our marketing's not working. That was the beginning of a data dashboard. All right? That's the early data dashboard. That's how we judged our success. But now we have this concept that technology is going to change everything. You know, all this internet, all these tools that we have. How many people remember index cards for keeping your leads, right? Looks, I see smiles, right? Here's your lead cards. Here's where I checked. I got a little book. I kept all my notes in it, but now we have a thing called a CRM or an ILM, and technology. We're going to have cars that come out of vending machines. Yay, and we're going to buy cars online, and dealers are going to be out of business. Nonsense, because the only problem is we still got these things. People. People selling and people buying. And people screw up everything because they're different. There is no set pattern. All of you. We just had this conversation with, I'm sorry, your name again is? Mark. Had his conversation talking about processes in selling. I can sell differently than he can, but our technique or our process should be the same, right? Problem is, a lot of times we don't have processes, and that's where this dirty work of running a business, everything has to have a process. Nothing cannot have a process. I don't care if it's the receptionist answering the phone. I don't care how you're detailing the car, delivering a car, lining your cars up. There should be a process so that it doesn't matter who's there. If you have a process contingent on one person, it's not a process. It's their way of doing it. And when they leave, oh God, we used to do it that way till Glenn left. Now we don't do it anymore. Silly. But it happens. Right? So we have to design our processes to keep going. Now, I throw this slide up here, and Paul had a similar one, right? The Google slides. You see a lot of those. Everybody lives by Google, loves Google, right? See these ones from the workshops. We steal these slides from them. We put it up there to make us look smarter, right? 24 touch points, right? Ooh, what in God's name, what does that mean for your dealership? What the hell am I supposed to do with that information, right? That just scares me. 24 places I got to pay attention to? What? Can't do that. So what we want to do is make sense of it. Take a step back. But let me tell you about my recent experience. I just recently, my lease was up, so I went out again, just like anyone else. My lease was coming up, so 2 months ago I said, oh yeah, my lease is coming up. I better start looking. Look to stay with the brand I had. Too expensive, decided budget, wanted to bring it down. Okay, notice what I typed into the search bar. Best all-wheel drive sedans 2016. Notice what's not there. Not one dealership in the area. Thought to write a piece of content on their website saying, we have, ours is. Edmunds did, all these other people right here. Edmunds told you what they think it is. Well, why didn't the person who sold the Ford have a page on their website saying, well, we have the best all-wheel drive? That could be a potential thing that someone's looking for, right? When you hear people stand up here like me and start telling you content, you got to put content on your website, and you're going, okay, again, well, what the heck does that mean? What are people looking for? What would you look for if you were shopping for a car? Sometimes we forget to do this because realistically, ladies and gentlemen, you don't shop for cars. You go to the lot and go, I want to drive that one today. That's the way you shop for cars, but it's not. So go talk to your friends who don't get demos and go ask them, how would you shop for a car? What words would you type in? What would you look at? What would inspire you? So I started doing this, and again, I talked to a dealer who's a client of mine, said, I'm looking at this, sent me a couple things, went in once to test drive. Next time I went in, so everything was done online, went in, signed the papers, took the car. Great, easy experience. The point was, I took a moment to notice exactly what I was doing so that I could share that with the client. So again, sometimes you have to make sure that you don't divorce yourself or think that the way you think about your business is the way your customers think. You're jaded. You look at your website all the time. You know how to click 3 times to get past the button because you've already been upset with the website. Well, if I click it 4 times, it'll click through and I can find it, and I know I got to jump 87 places to find. Your customer doesn't, and they get mad and they leave your website. Now, I know there's some new website technologies coming in. We love a lot of them. We've suggested they come over. I know Dealery Process is over here. One of the best websites I know. Great tool. Right? Because they started thinking and designing it for other people. They would give it to people who are not in automotive and say, can you go find me these 5 cars, please? Tell me, was it easy? Was it hard? Hey, can you go on my website? This is what we're supposed to be doing. Could you see that? And they'd get feedback from real people, not just other people in their office who are just as jaded as they are. Make sense? Right. Okay, so before we can do anything in this circle here, all of that stuff leads us to understand, first we have to understand why you're doing business. Okay, I talked with Paul at lunch, And I was saying, okay, I understand the market, but I'm not a master of your market, right? It's not about the car. I need to understand why I should do business with you because the car is not important to me. So as I said, restaurants formulated a lot of my training, the philosophy. I worked, as I said, an actor, New York. I worked for this gentleman, Gene. He became a mentor without me even knowing it. Now, little side note, little tidbit of trivia here. In New York City, the lifespan of a brand new restaurant open today, lifespan on average is 3 months. Pretty crazy. This restaurant was open 14 years. His other one was open 13 years because he understood the market. He focused on this. He would always tell us that food is a commodity. He said, think of how many places you could get a steak, you could get chicken, you could get fish. It's not about the food. It's about how they feel about the experience when they come in. That's why you tell people, right? If I asked you right now, just think in your head, if I asked you to tell the person next to you your favorite place to go eat or travel or why you stay at the certain hotel, I will bet you anything you never talk about price. You talk about how that place made you feel. It's really cool. They're very friendly. Oh my God. I will guarantee you number 2, if I asked you to tell the person next to you why they should buy a car or service their vehicle with you, you will not talk about price either. But go look at your website. What is all over your website? Price. But that's not what you tell people. So again, he'd say, food is. And he would say, listen, here's the deal. I have a great, what's your name, sir?
Bart.
Bart? Okay. He comes in with his friends, has dinner. Great time. He goes and brags about the restaurant, goes and brings a few more people in. If I don't deliver a great experience, if I'm taking it for granted, guess what? Not only is their second meal ruined, his reputation's ruined because he bragged about this place. So that was our goal every single day. He said, I don't care what happened yesterday. Today is today. We deliver that same experience. So my point is that I think a car is a commodity now. It's not important. People are shopping for a car, and I'll go wherever I can. The worst thing is the brand loyalty is in the toilet, right? It really is. Think about it. I'm not a stat person. The one stat I heard was 20% of the people will stay in their vehicle, their brand for life. And maybe another 20%, if I like it, I may stay. Most people I got this many euros to spend. What can I get? And they're doing research. But once they get past it and start going, look at these couple cars, they're searching your website about why they should do business with you. What's it going to be like when I call, when I email? And that's why when Paul's stats were so high about why people don't engage with you, they want to have control of this whole situation. Remember, I got the information. I don't need you. You need me to come in, right? You need me to come. So that's why they don't submit leads. They want to have some semblance of control. But when they do submit a lead or reach out and phone call, they want information. They don't want you slamming them on saying, hey, come on in. When are you coming in? When are you coming in? When are you coming in? Answer my question. If you're not going to answer my question, I'm going to someone else who can answer my question. And God forbid, if you're a Toyota dealer and you did that to me the first time and now I call a second Toyota dealer and you did the same thing, guess what? In my mind, every Toyota dealer's like that. Screw Toyota. On to somebody else. On to another brand. That's the perception. So we have to focus on the experience top to bottom. And that's where process comes in. That's where this whole full circle's coming in. Because your marketing can't be great, but your process is horrible, or your receptionist and sales is good, but delivery's horrible, or service, all has to work and support, okay? So, these free research papers that we put out, they're free. You can go to PCG Research, tons of them. We did 2 surveys. We went out and asked over 1,500 people, our automotive shopper survey, what do you look for when you're shopping for a car online? What's important to you? And then the service one, why do you service your car at a dealership versus an independent? Meineke, back home at Jiffy Lube or Sears or something like that versus going to a dealer. Why would you go or why wouldn't you go? Because in my mind, fixed operations, aftermarket service, whatever you want to call it, is going to be more and more important. I've told dealers in the States that this next year you're going to be okay again, but I will guarantee you within a year beyond that, all of a sudden sales are going to flatline and drop because you've been selling them these long-term 72, 84, 96-month financing. You're not pulling them out. They're going to have to service their cars. So you better pay attention to service because they ain't going to be buying. They're going to be holding on. So let's talk about it. Well, like I said, when was the last time you sent out a survey to your customers and asked them how you're doing? So here's a few questions we asked them. What device did you use for research? Look at that. 70% said all of them. Only 9% said I don't shop online. That makes sense. Those are the people who say, you're my car guy. When I need a car, I'm coming to you. That's it. Don't even think about it. Time to turn a lease. What do you got? That's the way my father was. He had his car guy. And if the car guy moved from one dealership to the next dealership, guess what? He went with the car guy because he trusted him, okay? The reason we're talking about these devices is, look at this other question. If a dealer sent an email, what device would you look at? What did we talk about this last session? The majority of people are opening up your emails on their smartphones. Are they formatted for the smartphone? Or is everything designed for a desktop? And if I have to do the pinchy stuff on my phone, not reading it. If it's 87 miles long, not reading it. Just think of yourself. If somebody sent you a long email, you're like, I'll read it later, or I'm mad at you. Why couldn't you just send me a video? Send me 3 sentences. Tell me what you want. Get to the point, right? We sometimes forget that because we want to wow them with all of our great knowledge. But we forget the device that we're on. How many photos? Now, I did some research on your site. You're pretty good with your photos. Like it. Keep it going. This matches pretty much new and used. Where I see the downfall in the States is when new cars are there, they use stock photos. I understand if it's going to be a 2017, you haven't gotten it in yet. Got it. Great. No problem. As soon as you get one on the thing, go shoot. You can use the same photos for all the 2017 blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. Get real photos. It's because they want to make sure it's on your lot. That's what they want to see. They already know it's brand new, so they're not looking for dings and dents and everything else like that like they might on a used vehicle. They want to see that you have it on the lot. So if I drive to you, I'm not going to be, hey, I'm here for the car, and you go, oh yeah, we don't have that. But you have pictures on your website. Yeah, we were just kidding. It's not here yet. But I'll give you this one. And they're like, oh, they're a typical car. Yeah, see, bait and switch, don't want that. If a dealer had a video, would you watch it? Absolutely. But how many videos do you have? Oh, it takes too much time. Really? Couldn't be any time. There's no time in the day. I say that to my team sometimes. Oh, yeah, there's no time. Really? Really, there's no time in the day. You could go take a walk-around video really quickly. I'll guarantee you, if you think of all the employees you have, there's probably someone in a back of the house or quote-unquote lower level job that's not a salesperson who probably shoots YouTube videos themselves. Right? They're the ones out there doing Snapchat all day about themselves, documenting their life. Go ask them, hey, would you shoot videos? They'd be like, sure, absolutely. That would be fun for them. And that's not hiring another vendor, saving cost. Interesting ones about service. Why do you service at a dealership? Notice the top 2. Trained staff keeps the value intact. Is there something on your website, on your service pages, when you're talking about how you want to service a car, talking about how trained your staff is? Not just we have trained staff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the certifications. What you're trying to impress on those people is that we've trained on our vehicles. We have custom parts that fit your car, not generic parts that may leak. We don't have the person down the block in the independent who they can do sort of a lot of stuff on every car. Do I really want them touching my car? Because look what's most important, number 2, is keeps the value intact. Are you saying that to them? Listen, come in for service. This is going to keep the value of your car. So when you trade it in, we're going to give you more money for it. Why do you service at an independent? Price, that's because a lot of dealers are not transparent with their pricing. So they leave it to the consumer to assume that you're more expensive because you got a fancy building, right? And that small little dealership, well, the independent got to be cheaper, right? Convenience, again, they think it's, How easy is it for someone to just roll in and get their service done? And again, I don't know all the ins and outs of your service, just again, thinking about questions, things you can ask. Now, I know some of you are looking at the first one going, Glenn, the big gray one over there says 35%. What's that? Most of those people said they go to the dealership for their warranty work, right? Warranty work. But the interesting thing was half of the people who go for warranty work says, I can't wait to get the hell out of here after my warranty is done because they think it's too expensive. Or some people said they treat me poorly because I'm warranty work, because in the States, manufacturer pays you X, but if I could do these other services, I could get more money and you're clogging up my bay with this work that I'm making less, so could you hurry up and get out of here type of. But yet, I want to retain my customers. So in my mind, why would I let half of my warranty customers ever leave if that's where I'm going to get my revenue, that's where I'm going to keep people here servicing their car, that's where I'm going to sell them the next car, but we're willing to let them go because, well, we're full. That's what one dealer said, well, our bays are full. I'm like, okay, that scared me because he doesn't care. Eventually it'll catch up with him. How do you feel about your experience? This one was interesting for me. There's two of them answers here that really struck me. One was, how do you feel? Because most dealers think people are antagonistic. They're going to come in, have a bad experience. They're coming in and the dealer's got their arms up going. When it comes to service, they're always pissed off. No. Only 14% of the people say, I expect to feel horrible. This is going to be painful. But yet, our guard's up. More people than not like coming to you. Why? Take care of my car. You got trained staff, right? All those things that are good for me. That's why I come here. Now, what could the dealership improve on? Price transparency we talked about, turnaround time. One of the big things that they want is loyalty program. Not many dealers do that. Think of what you do when you travel. How many of you have a frequent flyer mileage card, right? A few of you here, right? Or you belong to like a shoppers club or something like that. I have one for a movie because I take the kids to movies. They have it where you get a point or whatever for every time you spend $1, and then all of a sudden you're going up and they say, well, you have $20 on here as a credit. Do you want to use it today? I'm like, sure, why not? Why not have that? Every dollar they spend, they get a point, and then they come back and then say, okay, that's worth $20 towards a service. Not another free oil change, but because what if I'm in for tires? I could use it for tires and not oil change. See what I'm saying? So be creative, because that's what customers want. This one blew me away. Customers don't think a dealership is a local business. They think the independent is a local dealership because you have the big fancy building. It could be owned and run by local people from that town. The perception is you're not a local business. So that means you have to do more in your marketing on your website to describe and tell them, hey, we're from here. We do this. We are a local business. We're staffed by local people. Because that's what they think. Okay? So, how do we prioritize, Glenn? That's all great, wonderful, everything else like that. So what do we have to think of? As I said, you have to start thinking about why I should do business. Ask your people. Ask some of your employees that have been with you more than 5 years, why do you still work here? Why do you work here? Because everybody tells me automotive is a transitory business. People are going to leave, they move around. Why are you still here after 10 years? They'll tell you why. Because of the way you treat me, because you're always honest, we do our focus on our customers. Now we start writing. Those are good ideas. And remember, we're looking for something that your competitors can't say. Don't say I've been in business for this long, or we take care of our customers, or we do. Everybody can say that. What's different? It may only be one thing, but then market it. One of our dealers has a, 2-week return the car. As long as you didn't damage it, we'll put you into something else. That's a big seller. That holds on to a lot of people because they're willing to say, hey, you only test drove it for 15, 20 minutes. Some of them are saying, hey, we'll give you the car for the weekend to test drive. Like some of the eyes are going like, what the heck? You give somebody a car? They're looking for an advantage in the competition to be different. So again, ultimately, we're all trying to profit more. We're trying to organize all these things. But you can't do any marketing if you don't know who you are. What are you trying to deliver? What is the experience? Because remember, like we said, the car is a commodity. What am I trying to deliver to these people in terms of an experience that they're going to go, this was fantastic. So they go tell their friends, and more importantly, they don't ever want to go anywhere else because you take care of them, okay? So now we have this message. Now we have to go out and we have to think of all these channels. Remember those 24 things? We can't do all 24. Probably can't do a ton of them. Because there's a lot of reasons why you can't when you're going out to marketing. And when I say connected marketing, I'm talking still. I believe in offline or traditional marketing, if it's working. So if you do newspaper, if you do whatever you do that's not online, if it's working and you can measure it and you're seeing results, keep doing it. But just understand, all of that marketing is going to drive them online. So if you're saying something in your advertisements or your billboards or your whatever radio or whatever you do, they better find it online. They better see that same messaging online. That's where that connection comes in. And then when they walk in your door, they better see it too, okay? But we want to choose what marketing channels we want to go to. And online, it's crazy. So let's give you a little quick tip before we dive into all of these. No joke, no surprise, mobile is the big thing, right? That's what everybody's been saying today. You have to design from mobile backwards. Most of you think US websites look like you took 10 pounds of garbage and shoved it in a 5-pound bag, right? That's it. Just you squish everything in here on the website, on the desktop, right? Then the mobile looks cleaner. Problem is, when you design for mobile and backtrack out to a desktop, the desktop looks really bare, and most dealers in the US freak out because they're like, there's not enough stuff. Not busy enough, I need more stuff. People don't want stuff. They want information. They want to be able to find things very, very cleanly, very, very quickly, right? So you have to do the evaluation, as Paul said, and we all said earlier in the sessions, look at your test. Even I understood that. Test, right? Go look at your smartphone. Send your emails to yourself. Look at your marketing. Go right now, or not now, after you leave, go type your website in onto your smartphone and go try to find a car. Is it easy? Go see what's doing. Get an email to yourself. You have to always keep yourself in the loop. If you're sending out a newsletter, how does it look on your phone? Everything has to be designed for the phone. Because in the US right now, I would say most dealers on average, 50%, some are getting to 60 or more, traffic to the website's coming from the phone or mobile, tablet. Tablet's a little bit, mostly phone, especially now with all the ads that are click to call, right? Lead forms are going down in the US. Phone calls are going up because all the ads are click to call. So your text ads, click to call, boom, hello, right?
Question.
Yes?
How do they get on mobile? Is it search? Is it...
What, the text ads?
Now, how do they get to the mobile site themselves? So is it a portal? Is it SEO, which?
Well, very, very good. So let me see if I understand correctly. So right now you have your website. You should not have two different websites. You should not have your desktop website and a mobile site. It should be a responsive site, which we're right here, responsive, not responsive. Does everyone understand what responsive means? Who does not? Don't be afraid. Who does not? Okay. Do you know how to check from your desktop if your website is responsive? Do you know how to pull it sideways, right? Grab the bottom right-hand corner, drag it, and it should collapse down into your mobile site. So again, to be on your mobile site, again, when you're doing your text ads, that person would create the ad, send the traffic to, automatically to your mobile version because you're looking at it on your smartphone. But there are click to call. On the ads, they'll have a little button that says click to call, punch it, go. So notice on the left here, that's not responsive. Notice how that, as I collapsed it, all it did was cut off the website. That's one of our clients. That's a manufacturer site. This one, Pohanka, they use dealer e-process, collapse down. Notice how it's easy for everybody to see. Now you may still say that's cluttered. Again, it's all designed. Some of them go in bars, some of them go. So again, it's looking at it, test it, talk to your website provider, see if they can adjust anything you don't like. But again, it also responds, as I said, this all applies to your responsive email campaigns. They have to all format onto your cell phone in a way that functions and you can find things. And it, again, gives a good experience because you could have the best marketing in the world. Then you send them an email response and they can't read it, you're off the list. You just threw a big log at my feet and made it hard for me to do business with you. We can't throw obstacles in front of our people in order to get them in the door. There's too many options. Just think of yourself. How many of you have patience when a website loads slowly? You all laugh. You do, but when we do that, it's okay because my cars are really good. You do it when you're there going, New site, refresh, cancel, get out, go somewhere else. So, let me talk a little bit in the marketing updates. As you can see, things are changing over the last 3 or 4 years. Digital advertising increasing 50, newspapers down, TV down, print down. Cable and direct mail are consistent. Okay, they're pretty consistent. But notice, money is shifting. Now, even into 2016, same thing, TV and cable dropped again because of streaming. I don't need to be on cable, I have Netflix. Okay, streaming options now, on demand, where I'm at. Okay, direct mail, same. Newspapers actually increased slightly because dealers got back in because everybody ran out. So again, understand, sometimes contrarian viewpoint. Everyone gets out, that means there's more opportunities for you. Maybe you test it and stay in and just do the highest day. Maybe it's Sunday or Saturday or whatever. Guess what? All your competition got scared and left and you're sitting there and you're the only one there. Not a bad thing. A lot of budgets are going to AdWords and now Facebook advertising. And again, Facebook, we'll talk about it. I know it's a little different here with privacy, but there's still things that you can do or test or check. Again, questions for you to try. But a lot of this dealers keep talking to me about is ROI. How do I know what's working, what's not working, right? So we're picking our channels, but here's the other problem is that they're all in silos. How many of you have an advertising agency over here, and maybe you have a digital agency and they're over here, and then you got social media person over here and somebody else over here, and nobody's talking together? Now, some of you may say, hey, no, Glenn, I have an agency that handles everything. Well, guess what? Your SEO person's sitting over here, your social person's sitting over there in another office, and your paid search person's all the way in the back there, and they don't talk. Because they're doing their thing to save their job. If you have individual vendors, they're going to claim that they're the best at everything and they're the reason why your traffic's up because they want your paycheck every single month. So they're going to blame someone else. Oh, it's not me. I'm doing a great job. It's that email campaign company. Yeah, that's them. Yeah, go look at them. Get all your vendors. If you're using multiple vendors, get them on the phone, maybe once a month, once a quarter, to say, what are you doing to market my message? Remember me? I'm the one with the message here. I'm the one in charge. I'm paying you. All of you are going to work together. You're going to push my message out in different channels, but you're also going to work together. So if I see something in the States we use a lot of them love cable TV, I'm like, well, can we use that imaging or that messaging on the website? Or I'm doing an email marketing campaign. Well, what are you saying? Where are you sending them? Remember, if I'm the online person, I run the website. I can't let the person doing a TV commercial decide where they should send that person or what phone number they're going to use. Instead of using a tracking number, which Paul talked about, I should be building a special landing page for that campaign. But if I don't know that you're running that thing, it just doesn't work. That's where that communication comes in. Hold them accountable. Okay, hold them accountable. And if you have any vendor who won't get on the phone with someone else, they're hiding something. Get the hell out. Seriously, boot them. Just go, because they're not willing to be transparent. It's okay. You don't need to understand how to do it. That's what people like my team does, but you need to understand how to question it. All right, I told this story to Paul. There's a general manager who worked for us for a short period of time. He came in to do some consulting work, and I asked him, I said, why is digital marketing so crazy for you? He says, Glenn, I was a general manager. When I got to be a general manager, he was in his 50s, he goes, I did every job in the dealership. Every single one. So when I'm managing the team, I know what your job was because I did your job and I can help you. This digital thing snuck in behind me. And as much as I want to learn, I don't know where to go. I don't know what questions to ask. And more importantly, I don't like feeling stupid. I want to do a good job, but I need help. So I hired somebody. The problem is I don't know how to manage them. If I send somebody to go buy cars at the auction, I know how to ask them, did you get a good deal? I give you $5,000 to go do an ad campaign. I can just go, how'd we do? Did great. Okay. That's why you're here. Like I said, the problem is a lot of dealers think, I have to learn how to do it. No. You have to learn how to have conversations, understand the reports, ask the questions. That's all you do. That's all you need to do. It takes a little time, but it's okay. You're here. That's the first start. So again, our goal is to drive everyone here, right? Want to get them to the website. That's what we're trying to do here with all this online marketing. So the key is, does that messaging anywhere, if it's clean, my banners, whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm advertising when I get there, is that experience really, really good? If I'm sending them to an SRP, search results page, if I'm sending them to a vehicle page, is the information helpful? I test other people's ads. Service special goes to a car. I'm like, did anybody test this? That's the thing. There is new technology where you can have a call to action and submit a lead right from the SRP. People will say, well, why? I want them over here. Why? If they want to do it there, why don't you give them the opportunity to do it there? Again, understand where the customers are. Make it easy for the customer to do it. You may not think it's a good idea. Check the data. Because remember, you could be prejudiced. I don't care. To me, it's like, show me the data. I'll decide based on data what works. My emotions and my gut doesn't usually work. It's good with people. Not good with stuff I can't see. I need numbers, okay? The other thing to look at your website when you're in these channels and you're bringing them to your website, do they have content? Is it easy to do? So again, these are drop downs from the website that I showed you, right? They have service, ask a tech, shop for tires, vehicle, recall requests, video specials, all of these things. Now some of you may say, well, they probably won't look at it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I can tell you that most people click on it to see what you have. If you have information, even if they don't look at it, the mere fact that you have that information, they feel trusted with you because you're pushing out information. You're not hiding information. Here's everything. You want videos on this? Here's walk-around videos. Here's service videos. Here's this. Here's my why buy. Here's why service. Here's why you should trade in with us. They want to sit on their couch and get comfortable with you. This type of stuff makes them feel comfortable. So again, when you go back, go look at your website and say, do I have a video on my website for why buy? So again, like these are service pages. This gentleman here, big buttons to go, and then he has a video there. Why should you service your car here? Why wouldn't you put it there? Look at over here on this one. How often do you need an oil change? Well, why wouldn't you put something like that on the oil change page? No, we have it on 4 other pages somewhere else. See what I'm saying? Again, make the experience. Notice what else they have on this page. A review about service. They said what they were going to do, great experience, whatever. So again, notice that we're trying to create this experience in where they're at. Giving them information that's going to help them along the journey to bring them to me. If you think that holding information is going to get you to sell more cars, nope, not in these coming years. The ones who are basically, here's where it is. Because remember, price is gone. Price is the price. Price is price. It's where am I going to go that I feel perceived value that you're going to take care of me. And videos help me because I can watch them on my phone. Tons of video. This is what we're competing against with Jiffy Lube. Look how clean it is. And now a lot of our pages we're building for our clients have all of this. We'll go through what's different. We even have them now going out once a month and checking the prices. Here's what our oil change costs. Here's what Jiffy Lube. Here's what Meineke. Here's what this. As of, and they put as of the date in case they change that. But again, they're pushing it out there to say, hey, listen, here's our price. You think we're more expensive? We're not. And even if we're $1 or $2 more expensive, right, on a certain service, remember what they wanted. Trained technicians, right? Value of my car, it's worth it. And anybody who tells me that's not worth it, why do people go to Starbucks and all these other fancy coffee? Coffee's coffee. Oh no, not Starbucks, it's the experience. And we all go in there for our 15 different layered mochaccino, whatever we're getting. And here's $20 for that cup of coffee, and we all feel good about that. So same thing here. Provide them the experience, provide them recognition from your customers, and you'll keep more of your people. I can't talk much, tons of stuff in these channels about video. Video. If there's anything you walk out of here with is, we need more video. You need the 5 videos. You need videos, sales, after sales, why should you trade, talk about your financing, have somebody talk about how you do work with different banks, how the process is. Just tell them, listen, after you pick out your car, it's probably gonna take you X number of hours, whatever it is. It's gonna take you an hour, it's gonna take you 45 minutes. Dealers think that's gonna scare someone away. What scares them away is, I think, because I already picked out my car, how long should this take? I think it's gonna take 45 minutes, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here going, why the hell is this thing taking so long? But if I knew it's gonna take an hour, here's what I need to bring, I schedule everything for an hour. Let's roll. If I'm out of there earlier, it's a win. If not, hour, good, you took me into consideration. But these are videos, CRM, in your email processes, again. The other thing to do if you're thinking, well, Glenn, really, again, how do I prioritize? Go into analytics, or have your vendor go into analytics, and just look for the top pages that are visited. What are the pages that people have visited the most on my website, and slap a video on there. If it's a vehicle, do a walk around of that vehicle. If it's a service page, why should I service? If it's an oil change, welcome to Glenn's dealership here. Let me explain how we do quick oil changes here, and blah, 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 blah. We use the top grade oil, and you just don't need an appointment, just pull in, whatever it is. Video. Video. Look, even on the hours and directions page, why should you drive to us? Like again, put a video wherever. Hours and direction is probably one of your top pages. Right? How do I get to you? Now do I like you? How do I get to you? Thank you, come on in. Here's how you get to us. Maybe you're located and there's a big landmark, and if you're coming down this road here, we're right next to the big X. You're helpful. See, being helpful. Video helps people. Now let's talk about social. That's one of the channels everybody freaks out about. What do I do with social media? Okay. Why do I have to do social media? Well, social media you got to do because of this. That's where the eyeballs are, right? That's where they are. So you got to figure out what the strategy is. Should I do all of these? Nope. Do what you're comfortable with. Okay? As I said, do I have to hire somebody to do social? You probably have someone in your dealership who is a social media junkie. Ask them if they would like to post. Post things about your dealership. There's 2 types in Facebook of posting and advertising. People say, well, there's no posting, it's not really good. It's still good because people go to your Facebook page. 1 post a day. What's going on in the dealership? Not just car, sale. What's going on? Maybe you had an event, somebody's birthday, somebody's this, somebody's that. Okay? Instagram. Oh, thank you. Instagram is huge because it's a visual medium. So if you're going to say, Glenn, which 2 would I do? I'd do Instagram and I'd do Facebook. Facebook, because everybody's there. Instagram gets the younger folks. Like my son, so happy you got an Instagram account. Right? Now I have dealers go, well, Glenn, what about Snapchat and all these other I can't even figure out Snapchat. I don't even understand. I get it, but I don't understand how for business it works yet. I can't wrap my head around it. And Twitter is great if you're posting things or sharing other things from the manufacturer. But if you're going to pick 1 or 2, I'd be hitting Facebook. And if you're saying, Glenn, really, if I was going to do 1, I'd take Instagram and just share the pictures that you shot on Instagram on Facebook. Pretty simple. But it's where the eyeballs are. You can't, and it does sell cars. Again, it's no different than somebody said, well, that doesn't sell cars. How does that billboard out there sell cars? Well, they see it. I got 1 billion people on Facebook. They see it, all right? It's that sort of reputation here. Now, this is something, again, I talked with Paul. don't know, again, this is what we're doing a lot of, because in the US they fake claim about privacy, but they really don't care about privacy. Meaning that we can go out there and we can push ads out based on, we have the Polk data, which tells me what car's in your driveway and when you had it. And so I can go out into the Facebook fields in the back and say, I need somebody who has a truck, give me a Jeep, give me this, give me a radius, all this other stuff, and I can show my ads to you in the feed. Okay? Some of you have probably seen ads. There's boosting and promoted. Well, this is a different one. But what you can do, and again, this is where you have to check, because please don't get in trouble and say, Glenn told me to do this. We can create custom audiences, meaning we market to our own people on Facebook. Just like you send out an email campaign to those people and you get permission to email them, right? You can do the same thing here. You take from your CRM their email addresses and or phone numbers, you push it up into Facebook and create an audience. They encrypt everything so it's not there. But then you can send ads to those people in their Facebook feed. Pretty cool. Just to them, custom audience. Now again, that's where we have the ability to say, well, we know these people, we'd like an audience of people that's like them. Or we can do it within a radius around the dealership. And we just show them ads, right? Yes?
How does it work? Do they use email addresses customer, or do it differently?
What they do is, remember in your Facebook, most people put their email or their phone number in their profile. It's not a full match, but usually it matches about 60% of the names that you're going to upload, because one of those two, you have your phone number or your email in your Facebook profile, and that's how it matches. And then again, it's a bidding strategy of how often do I want to spend and what ad do I want. And there's rules about what type of ads, how they're structured and everything else like that, but they're really effective. Oh, what did I do? There we go, wrong button. Like we did one for fixed operations here for one of our clients. And again, notice we weren't selling anything. We just said take 5% off if you take a test drive while you're here. Pretty simple. Right? We showed it to the people that were their clients. Next time you come in, take a test drive, right? And after 1 month, more referral traffic. The Facebook landing page we built was the 6th most visited. Why? People clicked on it. They wanted to see what the ad was. And we drive them back to a landing page that we built on the site with a form if they want to schedule, or a coupon, whatever you want to do. So again, these are really good techniques. And right now, Facebook advertising, at least in the States, is really inexpensive, right? So a year from now, more expensive, because everybody's going to start getting into it. There's other cool products now that are going into Facebook. We have one that we're testing out where the ad, when you click on it, goes to a text box that says, do you want to text with the dealership? And if they say, yep, a text goes. Now I start texting with them. The engagement's really high. They get permission, double opt-in. Yes, you want to get texted. Understand that's longer term. Every platform that you touch within the next year needs to start moving towards being text enabled. How many of you get mad when you get a phone call? Anybody? Versus a text? Yeah, there's a few of you like, why are you calling me, dude? Just text me. You're bothering me. I'm in the middle of something. Like, that's happening. People want to go to the website, and if your website has chat, the chat better be text enabled, or you have another provider that's doing text enabled stuff, because more and more people want to text with you because it's convenient. They don't want phone calls. Phone calls are even going to start dropping because, well, if you add in text with it, but text and chat. That's the way we communicate. You have to be prepared. I read something on the airplane in Fast Company. Somebody was saying all the platforms in the next few years, you have to. Any platform you're using, you're seeing Facebook Messenger going text enabled. All of these things are text enabled. WhatsApp, it's all texting. My son doesn't call, texts people. He's 11, almost 12. That's what they do. They text and they message each other. They don't call. They don't know with the phone call. Hey, the phone's for you. What? What do I do with this thing? No, let me text him, right? All we want to do with all these channels is convert all of those people and drive them to our website, right? Which in turn then, when they start talking to us, we want to get them into our showroom because that's our belief. They still have to come to us to buy the car. As I said, the magic vending machine of cars exist, right? Yes, there are tools now. in the States, we're starting to see them where you can do most of your paperwork online and then you just come in and sign. It's all done, chink, 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 all done. Yes, that's moving, but people still want to test drive the car, touch the car, see the car. Remember, they love shopping for cars, they hate buying a car. If you can fix the buying process and streamline it a little bit, home run. Because we're doing all the marketing, we're getting them in, and then the anchors hit. It's long, it's hard, it's confrontational. We want to sell you what we want to sell versus what you came in to buy. Got to understand that. So look at all these things. This is what dealers are investing in, right? All of these different media, but you got to know what's working. And that's the struggle for a lot of you. You get hit with a lot of vendors calling, at least they do in the States. Every day, dealers are telling me I'm getting called by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people coming in telling me they have the widget that's going to sell me more cars, the miracle thing that's going to sell new cars, more cars, or they're coming in and you're going, I don't even know what the hell I got. I don't even know what's working and you want me to spend more. Now, sometimes you go to a conference and you see someone charming like me and I wow you and you come back in your dealership and they hate when you go to conferences because you come back with the idea like, we're going to try this, and they're going, oh, here it goes again, because it'll only last for a month and then you're on to your next big shiny object. So how do we do all this stuff, right? So again, we got to see what we did. So we pushed out the business, right? We got our messaging, we pushed it out through the channels. Now we got to see and connect. How do we connect with all of our customers? Meaning, what's working? What is connecting to get them to contact us? Because that's ultimately what we want. Walk in my showroom, call me on the phone, send me an email, I don't care, get in here, let's do business. So, that's your playing field online, right? Your virtual showroom. Referee is your analytics. You do not have to be versed in analytics like, oh my God, I can go in there and set UTM codes and all of you are going, what the hell is he talking about? Exactly, you don't. But you have to be able to ask the right questions of the people who are being the referee. Because you got your marketing, remember that's our first half that we just did, and we're sending them all to the website, but now we got to see what's in our CRM, our DMS, what's happening in there. We got to find out. And the only way we're going to do that is inspect our website traffic. We have to go through analytics. Now Vista Dash is a tool we've created. It's a data dashboard, very simple. You guys have dashboards here. You have analytics. It's getting the person who's going to sit down with you and talk in language you understand. Let me say it again. Language you understand. You cannot be afraid to raise your hand and say to the vendor, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Talk to me like I am 11 years old. Please, explain this to me. It'll freak them out. But it's going to put them on the way to explain it to. Then you're going to know, then you're being, okay, good, got it. Because you already know how to market. You've been doing it for a long time. This is just a new language. This is a new channel. Not different marketing. It's no different than what we had. Before the internet, you knew why you did business and you marketed that message out there in the channels you had available to you. We just have a few more channels now. They're changing real quick. They're moving fast. I don't even keep up with it. I hired smarter people than me. And I walk in and go, what the hell is this? Oh, let me show you. It's this. Great, great. Talk to me in language I understand, please. Oh, okay, got it. Now I can go, now it works for me, okay? This is what's happening. It used to be website traffic went up, that means I sold more. Not anymore. Not anymore. So, dealers have been bombarded, as I said. Manufacturers now are forcing everybody to spend in the States. They're setting minimums. You got to spend a minimum of this. Whether you like it or not, folks. Maybe with a vendor you used to hate, but now they're in their OEM program, and guess what? I got to use them. Dealers aren't liking that. Net website traffic is up, but quality is down. Now, I've been asked this, how come, website traffic went up, I'm not selling anymore, what's going on? It's because you're getting hit with a lot of crappy traffic. There's a lot of people out there, vendors out there who are ripping people off, right? I can create traffic to your website, looks like I'm a hero, and it's garbage. It's garbage, right? So, these 5 questions, those are things you can ask your vendor, pretty easy. Where's my traffic coming from? Meaning referral sources, what are my most popular vehicles? What are my most popular pages? Are my website visitors really shoppers? Meaning, are they doing anything on my site? Which investments are winning? Who are the best players? Meaning, which ones of my marketing, of all my marketing things I'm doing, social, text ads, display ads, remarketing, what's working? What's sending traffic? What's not? So, there's a page on, this is in analytics called the user flow, meaning when they got to a page, where did they go after? How do you like that page, right? Look at all your faces. I wish I could have a camera back on your faces, because a lot of you are looking at that and going, information overload. I have no idea what I just looked at. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to help you, because we're changing some of the dynamic questions that we're asking in the States for our clients. We're trying to pioneer a new way of talking about marketing, so we're going to dive into that. Now, I told you to give a break. If anybody needs to go run to the restroom, you ain't going to offend me. If anybody wants to stand up, because I've been hitting you with a lot of stuff. We got about another half an hour. You with me? Good? You okay? Awesome. No sleeping? Or you're sleeping with your eyes open. That's even better. That's a bigger skill. Okay, so back to, we have our message. Remember, why should you buy? Why buy from me? Why do business with me? I know it. I love it. I'm putting it out on the channels. Are the people really interacting with my website? So, education's the key. You're here, as I said. You do not have to, unless you want to, become analytics certified. That's a big step. Most people don't want to. That's left for that person you hired that lives in the back room with the computer. Let them do it. It's okay. But you need to be able to have a conversation with them and understand what all these metrics mean, because it's the same questions you would have when you go into the service lane and say, how's our RO? We up, down? What are we doing this? How's our hours? Are they up, down? What's it? All of those questions you ask, it's the same questions. You just have to learn what they mean and how they interact. And if you have someone in your dealership who can educate you in language you understand, or your vendor does it in language you understand, then it's golden. But if you're afraid to say, I have absolutely no idea what the hell that means, then you're going to struggle. Your ego's going to get in the way of you being successful. But again, things like this, Paul does a great job. Paul has his online workshops. We have online workshops. Make it easy for you. The key is we're moving towards the concept of engagement. The reason I say that is, as I said, I can drive traffic to your website. The question is, are they doing anything on your website? You've just, remember we said, built our nice message. We've created all this content on the website. Glenn, we followed you and we said we're going to do videos, and we got videos on our site. We got these cool pages that we built. Awesome. Is anybody on it? Are they doing anything? I don't know. So that's what we're trying to define now. We're talking about, yes, go ahead.
What can you do when your importer or your manufacturer don't want you to use their mark, or when you have a digital campaign and you want to use your
website?
Your brand, right?
Your brand?
But they say you can't use that word.
You have to play within the parameters that you have to. I mean, there's compliance in the US too. You have to say certain things.
Show them our website traffic.
Right.
Compare it with 6 other brands, but still they don't want to get persuaded to let us use their brand name in the Google.
In your campaigns.
Right.
So you have to use you can't use the brand. You have to use
work around it, but it's almost impossible because people search
for the brand.
Yeah.
They search for the brand, so you can't use the brand. So you can just use your name but not the brand.
Right.
Interesting. There are things that are going on in the US that do that too, where you can't bid on keywords that say Acura, Honda, because they're saying the manufacturer is doing that, so you shouldn't do that.
We have for Holland, we use our own campaigns.
Yeah.
You're also paying for it.
Yep.
But we have known an own website,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to have our own campaign, but we can't use the brand names.
Right. So that's where you have to sit down with somebody who's a marketer to sit down and say, okay, what can we do? Because certain campaigns, then you split your campaigns up. We'll leverage these campaigns using them. We'll leverage these campaigns using this, as long as we stay in compliance. Because as I said, in the States, sometimes they're not allowed to use Honda dealers, because they say the manufacturer is bidding on those, or tier 2 is bidding on those. So we don't want you wasting money bidding on those, but yet dealers are saying, yeah, but I'm not getting those leads. Right? So I understand. We can talk afterwards. So what metrics do I look at? So I'm going to give you a pop quiz. Yay! Pop quizzes. All right. Consumer number 1 comes to they only visit one page. Okay? Come on, and they leave. One stays for 35 seconds. One stays for 90 seconds. Who's the better customer? Who says 35 seconds? Who says 90 seconds?
The one who buys.
What?
The one who buys.
Nah, they won one page.
I think the first one, because he's getting faster at where he wants to be within 2 or 3 clicks.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, you're all hesitant here. You know, nobody wants to put their, all right. Multi-pages. We have visitor number 1. Visits 5 pages. This one visits 2 pages. Who's the better visitor? Which one's more important to you from a marketing standpoint? 2? 5 pages, we have 2, mixed. Woo, we have furrowed brow right there, I can see it. All right, let's do AdWords. I spend $5,000. This one I get 4,500 visitors, this one 2,700. Which one's better? Anyone? What? That one over there? All right. So we say time on site, 1 page, multi-pages are pages per session. So then when you hear those words, campaign traffic cost per clicks, that's another language. Problem is, I can't answer it because I don't know what they did on the site. Somebody said, the one who buys. See, that's the problem. All of these metric things that we've been talking about and marketers have been talking about, we've been talking about, we're evolving because we're starting to see there's so much traffic, I don't know. And now Google has built out things to track your events. And from an event, that means could scroll down the page, watch a video, look through your photos. You can set up your analytics to track all of that. So now I can see what they're doing on a page, right? So that person who did 35 seconds or 90 seconds, I don't know. If 90 seconds they sat there and did nothing, but 35 seconds scrolled through, went through here and did things, that's more important. See, so all of these are misleading. I, as a marketer, can come into you and say, hey, look, your cost per click is awesome. Your click-through rate is awesome. All I did was get them to your site. Look at how many pages they're viewing on your site. Somebody said over here, if I have to go through 4 or 5 clicks to find what I want, is that a good experience or a bad experience? Probably not great. I don't know. Same thing, time on site. If I'm hiding everything and it takes them longer to find, is that a good experience? So these metrics are about quantity, not quality. And marketers have been selling quantity for a long time because that's the metric everyone knew. So again, we have to remove these blind spots. Only 10% converts. So let's look at this a minute. Here's an ad for a Chevy Silverado. When I click through to the page, right, would these things be engagement points? If I clicked on the request price, if I used any of those tools, if I viewed the incentives, if I viewed photos, if I did any of those things, would you think that was an engaged shopper? I would say yes. But unless I tag those correctly, I can't see what they're doing. You have the ability now to do it. You just have to have a vendor who's willing to do it for you. Now you start seeing what does it cost to get engaged people. Because if I'm driving traffic to this site and I don't know what they're doing, or better yet, if I tag everything and the vendor's driving traffic there and they're not doing anything, is it real traffic? Are they shoppers? Or am I just driving traffic for the sake of it? So we're saying get rid of cost per click and start talking about cost per engagement. What's it cost to get engaged shoppers? So think about that. I'll show you a couple screenshots in a minute. But just think if you could sit there and look at those numbers and say, instead of all this gobbledygook about cost per click, cost per lead, what's it costing me? I'm running AdWords campaigns. What's it costing me to get an engaged shopper to my website? Like, that's information that I want to know. These are what we think are quality metrics, meaning that somebody's doing something on your site. They're scrolling down the page. They're getting an e-price. They're clicking on the vehicle specifications. Yes, they submit. Yes, they put a phone call through. All of these things, to me, are someone's at that, they're engaged. But here's the whole thing, is that if I drop them on that site, so just so you understand, remember that Chevy ad, right? If I drop them on that page and they leave, bounce, if you've never heard the term bounce rate, has anyone heard the term bounce rate? Okay, okay, yes, of course, I like that. So again, that's 100% bounce. I come on the page and I leave. I come on the page and I click those buttons. I scroll through the pictures. I scroll down. I click on the vehicle specification tab and I leave. In analytics, that's 100% bounce. Are those two people the same shopper? Absolutely not. I want to know who's engaging with the content that I'm creating. So we're coming up, and it's new. We just started to create all the tracking pods to put on sites. December, we're starting aggregating data from our clients in NADA. In January, we're going to release some, because we're playing around with the weighting. Like, if I'm scrolling down the page, do I give it 1, 5? I don't know. If they call, phone, fill out a form, divided by the campaign cost, and we're going to get cost per engagement. And we weight it. We don't know. It's not a perfect science yet. We're tinkering around with, is a phone calls to me, a phone call is stronger than a page scroll. But if I'm watching videos, is that a page scroll? Again, these are all things. This is our idea. And we started seeing results from early on, and it's really sort of cool. So, because you're not tracking all the conversions, okay? The green ones are what a lot of dealers used to call conversions, meaning I'm converting. Did they show up on my doorstep? Did they drive up for service? Did they fill out a lead form? Now you're saying, Glenn, of course phone calls, but do you track phone calls? We just talked, Paul was up here. Phone tracking is just coming here, meaning tracking the calls. In the States, we record phone calls with people's permission. So now I can hear for a training purpose what's going on. I can see how many outbound calls, inbound calls. I can see all the calls, how many are going to service, how many are not. These right here, right? The reason why is for every lead in the US we've been seeing now, as I said, phone calls are going up. They're getting 7 phone leads, and a lot of people aren't tracking the phone leads because they're junkies for these lead forms. Give me leads, give me my leads, give me my leads. Oh, those are just phone calls. Those are not important. Email lead form. Phone calls are going up. Why? Because of the mobile phone. All the ads now are click to call. Boop. Okay? Everything is, remember, 50% of the people, traffic is on here. That's where they're coming from. They're clicking, they're calling, and if you don't have a process in place to handle your calls correctly, we saw from Paul, 30%, nobody picks up the phone. Another 30% get disconnected in the first 30 seconds because they get transferred to someone and no one picks up, or nobody wants to sit on hold for that long. A lot of different reasons, right? So what another thing that's in the States, and it may come here with your as phone call tracking here elevates, because I know as some vendors will come over, they have what they call dynamic number insertion. Pretty cool. Does anyone know what dynamic number insertion means? Good. I love giving you new stuff. Here's what happens. Up there at the top, the sales number behind that thing says 877-432-4167. That's the number on the website. Okay? So if I just dive into the website, that's the number I see on sales. That number up there, 877-273-0605, I think that's the number, if I can read from that far, right? That's in my ad. That's a tracking number. But by dynamically inserting it means when they click on that ad, look at the phone number now, that is the sales number. It changed just for that ad through the whole website. Because what happens is if I put a tracking number in an ad and I come to the website and I call that website number that's on the website, I forget the ad number. And you go, that call tracking doesn't work. It's moving forward now, where now I dynamically can change the numbers on the websites. Certain call tracking companies can do this. It's pretty cool. So you now just think about it. All your different ads can have different phone numbers. When they click on through to website, that number changed on the website. Could just be on the landing page, whatever. So again, this is a company called Car Wars, and they track everything. They track where the calls come, they record the phone calls, they transcribe the phone calls, they track outbound calls. So this way, again, if your salespeople are on the phone, supposed to be making outbound calls, they'll track how many phone calls are going out, and 2 numbers in your CRM, not the pizza parlor and ordering lunch and everything else like that. Pretty fascinating. So again, call tracking, it's very important because remember what we're doing is we're driving all that marketing through the channels. They're going to the website, they're calling that number, but if we're not paying attention to that and all we're going to really track is our lead forms, we're missing out on tons of opportunities because people are calling from their phone. They don't want to deal on the website. They don't want to submit a lead. They have a question right now. My children, lack of patience. I need it now. I don't understand waiting. What do you mean I have to wait? I want it now. So the changes here. Facebook Messenger is going to be huge over the next year or two. They want to make this a texting platform. They want everything going through Facebook Messenger, right? Dynamic number, all the rest of this stuff. But all of this is changing and moving. And as I said, it can be a little overwhelming. It's just coming. I'm just giving you sort of things that will eventually come over because call tracking companies are going to come over here just like Dealer eProcess is coming over here for websites, and they're text enabled and they can do the dynamic number. And all of that stuff is over here, right? That's what's coming because you can track the data. So the more that you can track the data, why wouldn't you? The key is that you have to have somebody help you do this. Okay? You have to have them. You can tell, I want conversions in my analytics when a call triggers to the website. I want to track it. If a chat converts, right? All of these things. If a text comes, I want to see all of those conversion points as much as a lead form because that's what most people just look at. How many leads did I get? How many leads? Hey, I put my cars on that site over there. How many leads did I get? Well, how many phone calls did you get? How many times did those people come to your website and then chat started? Well, those aren't important. I need lead forms. All of these are important because you have to get serious. That's your virtual uplog, this analytics tool. And now Google keeps changing, as I said, advancing events and tagging. So same thing, your Google My Business, you know, your Google My Business listing, right? You can put a code on there so that you can track all of your traffic, separate your referral traffic to see who's coming from Google My Business. So now I can see if I get more reviews, which we'll talk about later, does that get me more traffic? This is where data comes in. So you got to have a vendor partner who's going to help you on this, or someone in your building who's a data junkie who likes this type of stuff. So let me show you an example. Here's a chat conversion. We blocked out who their name is. Came from their tier 2 site, ChevyDealer.com. It was a referral source. They ended up with 25 chats that were, so sometimes dealers will say that tier 2 site doesn't do anything for me. They got 25 chats. Okay. May not be huge, but they got 25 chats. Now I can at least say I got 25 chats from that referral source versus I don't know what they do for me. Because they're not submitting leads, they're chatting when they get there. See what I'm saying? If I start tracking all these conversions and saying, hey, that one doesn't get me lead source, it doesn't fill out lead forms, but look at all the phone calls they're getting me. Look at all these text things they're sending me from that. Ooh, I want to keep that, where if you went from lead forms, you may dump a source that's actually giving you great opportunities, but you're not looking at everything. You're not getting that full circle. This research paper talks about bot traffic. So if you don't know what bot traffic is, that's robots. They basically have little bots that come and scroll on your site and click on links. Problem is there's no rhyme or reason to where the links are clicked. It looks like traffic for you. We discovered this when we did a research paper on email campaigns, the conquest email campaigns, people saying, we're going to go generate leads for you and we're going to go conquest and send out emails and you're going to get traffic to your website. Problem was the traffic wasn't real That's what I said earlier when our people come to us and go, hey, this traffic's not real. And we've looked at it. A lot of the traffic was coming from desktop, 98%. What did we say people are going to look at your emails from? 50% on a phone. But this campaign, magically, 97% came from the desktop. Let's see, what did they click on? The footer links, the ones at the bottom, your privacy policy, sitemap. When was the last time you scrolled on a website and said, let me go read the privacy policy? Oh, that's good reading. Bot traffic. So that's what we started thinking about, these metrics. Is the traffic engaged? Because that's not engaged. It's just randomly picking a link. It goes there, pick a page, hit a link. So that's where we wanted to find out where this CEP, remember I said cost per engagement, CEP, 0 engagements per session. Meaning there's traffic coming, but it isn't doing anything. It's not clicking, it's not scrolling, it's not watching videos, it's not doing anything. What's that about? So now, like I said, here's one of these weird sessions. 6 pages they saw in 7 seconds. How in God's name did they do that? But if you don't know what to look at, you look at, hey, look at that traffic. Oh my God, you got 92% new people on my website. God bless, let me spend more money with you. That's awesome. You don't go over here. Oh, your bounce rate. Oh, they clicked all the way through. Yeah, because that's a bot clicking through to another page. So my bounce rate's down. Those are the things that dealers look at. What's my bounce rate? How many pages? How many pages? Holy crap, 6 pages. How much? Double my budget. Ah! Crap. Now their goals weren't, see what I'm saying? This is where the knowledge comes. That's why we write these papers to just say, hey, it gets us in hot water sometimes because people are like, what the hell are you writing? That's all right. So, cost per engagement, 0 engagement, engagements per session. With your knowledge, it's going to help you understand what to look at. Again, you don't have to go through all the nuts and bolts, but we're going to be redesigning campaigns, these advertising campaigns, right? So these are now going to be the way we format it in our tool, but look at this. Branding, dynamic, CPO, behavior, conquest email, cost per engagement, $7. What's that? 0 engagement. Well, look, the behavioral display was high on the cost per engagement. 70% of the traffic that went there didn't do anything once they got to the page. Now, you can say, let me go look at that campaign. Did I send them to a landing page where the only thing they did was fill out a form, but they could get the phone number and they left? Okay, I could buy that because they don't have to scroll. There's no video, there's no pictures. It's just an ad, landing page, okay. But 80% conquest, something's wrong. So again, if I want to look at traffic. Now, the other great thing about this with this tagging is, just think, remember your newsletters that you send out and you're saying, well, I don't know how to track that. You can now put codes in your newsletters. UTM codes, you can create them. Your gals can do it. UTM codes, put those codes in the newsletter. So if somebody clicks on it, you'll now see that somebody came from the newsletter to your site and you can see if they engaged. Same thing, CRM, if you're sending emails out to people. Click on this link to get to this page. You can put a UTM code. I can track the email. So all of those things that you never thought you could track before because they're not really on my website, those are offline stuff. You can track it now, and then you can see, is that generating engaged shoppers? Dealers like that back there because they're like, oh man, the newsletter. Because instead of just referral, yeah, I'm getting people from the newsletter, but what are they doing here, right? So that's, like I said, Vista Dash is our tool that we're showing everything. But our contention is higher engagement plus conversion action is going to get higher sales. If I get more engaged shoppers to my site, I'm going to sell more. Just makes sense. They're engaging with my content. You can't tell me if I have tons of shoppers on my site looking at videos, looking at pictures, scrolling down, going to other things, clicking on buttons for e-price, nobody's buying. Just that's what they do when they want to buy. It's all the other stuff that we have to declutter. All the people we're getting sent to the website that are doing absolutely nothing, but we're paying for that because we haven't been able to measure it. Now we can measure it. So again, our goal, we think that as engagement goes up, there's your sales are going to go up too. And this is what we want to be able to see. CPE, ZEP in the middle. We don't want to see these 90s, 80s, 70s. That's when we start questioning. We can then turn around. You guys could look at it. Again, you don't have to know anything about anything. You can sit here and go, all right, hold on a second. What is this local PB Chevy ad? 80% of the people didn't do anything. Mr. Vendor, explain to me, what the hell's that? That's pretty easy. I don't even have to go in analytics and look. But if I start seeing cost per engagement, cost per ZEP, what the heck was that one? Nobody did anything. And $9 to get people here and they didn't do anything? Can you explain to me what's going on? Now, I'll tell you right now, it's helping us refine. Most of our marketing was pretty good. There's a couple things that we were like, oh God, that wasn't good, because we put obstacles in front of people on the landing pages. Clean it up, engagement goes. Or there's just things that are not effective. So again, even for us, this was eye-opening. I was actually pleased that it wasn't as bad as I was like, oh, please don't tell me it's horrible, right? But this now, when I show this to dealers, they go, when can I have that? Can I have that now? It's coming for our clients and helping tag things. And like I said, we give it away. Here, go ahead. Here's the containers that you have to put on the website. Here's how you tag everything. Go watch your data. But you got to do things like have call tracking and track your texts and your chats and all the rest of it stuff, because again, just watching one piece, you're not going to get the full picture. So again, as we wind through now, we got all this. We know who is engaging with us, but the key is you guys got to have the right people in place to handle what's going on. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse because this is Paul's wheelhouse, but I want to show you a couple things that we talk about. But again, do your salespeople understand this online customer? Your BDC people, do they understand how they shop, what they're looking for, or are they still stuck in the processes of, oh yeah, I can't really tell you, but can you come in tomorrow? No, I can't give you a price. My philosophy is, if whatever I would say to you if you were standing in front of me on the lot, I say online. Hey, can you show me, how much is that car? Can't tell you. What do you mean you can't tell me? Whoa, that's secret. You got to come back tomorrow. That's what we do online. So again, do you have a CRM that has accountability? Meaning all of you who are leaders in your dealership, do you know how to work the CRM? Can you go generate reports? Can you go dig through it and understand what's working or not? If you don't, guess what? Your people know you can't. So they know how to get around you. They know how to give you what you want. Right? I always think of how can you screw me? Sad thing, but I just worked with a bunch of people over the years. They always found a way around it, and I'm like, damn, I got to be smarter than them, right? It's like finding the hacker, and you hire, hey, how are they going to screw this up? And again, is there only one process? We talked about it earlier. Do you have a process for you, and a process for you, and a process for you, and a process for you? And as long as you sell, that's good. That's confusing. I can't manage that. There's one way, or should be one process. Now again, different of style. I'm going to sell differently than you. Just the way it is. But if I strip through the process of day one we do this, day two we do 3, 4, 5, that's the technique. That's what has to happen here, right? So I'll give you now, we just had our Thanksgiving in the US, and apple pie is one of my wife's favorite, so we'll talk about the apple pie. This is the way I explain it, makes people understand what I'm talking about simply, because you got to make the pie. You know, that's the only picture you can really find about somebody making pies online. Very, very odd. So think of an apple pie factory, and I told, here's all the ingredients, and I said, bake me 100 pies. Blend ingredients, somebody's in charge of plating, baking, boxing. What happens if I come back and you don't have the pies, right? One of those pods here, right? One of those pods, I have enough ingredients. We plated enough. Was it the boxer? Oh, the boxer didn't box enough, whatever. You wouldn't blame everybody. You'd go through and say, did you do your job? You do your job? Come here, man. We got to talk about how you did this. See, that's targeted training instead of, you all stink. Horrible, 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 horrible. Or let's say even worse, the 100 pies got done. You guys are awesome. Except you, the boxer, realized that the person baking the pies was falling down on the job, and so you went over and helped. Doesn't matter to me. That person's like, oh man, I love it. You're doing half of my job. That happens in dealerships too. Because when you hit your goals, you don't look at it. You're just happy you hit your goals. So Break the sales process down into 4 steps. Contacting, appointment, show, sold, right? We do, as Paul's taught many of you, the 4x60, right? So you can target, that's baseline 13%, right? So if we have 100 leads, we should sell 13. Reason why calls immediately go to 60%, because they're already on the phone, right? We work our way through, we should sell 89 off of all those opportunities. See, the other thing that happens with dealers, they work to a number. We have to hit, I have dealers who say it all the time, I just got to sell 200 and I'll be number 1 in my region. They don't care how they do it, how much money they spend, as long as they hit 200. I'm like, you know, on the opportunities you had, you could have sold 300. Doesn't matter, man, I hit 200. Okay, let's figure that one out. So let's look at a dealer group. Internet leads, good leads, because there are dupes, bad ones, people who send junky emails, everything. 10,000 good leads, this is a real dealer. Set that many appointments, 23%. Remember, our goal is 36%. Showed up right by goal, they sold. Sold ratio is a little low, close at 7%. Let's say there's our targeted training. See, I don't worry about everything else. I don't worry about this right now. I don't worry, hey, the people are showing up. You're just not setting enough appointments. That's targeted training. Now, you can do this for your whole group, or you do this individually, because not everybody has the same problem. You set appointments, but they don't show up. You don't set enough appointments, they all show up, and you sell everybody that walks in the door, but you don't have enough opportunities. I don't train you all the same way, right? Targeted training. So, if it went up, if they got to the goal of 36%, their appointments will go up. If they stayed the same, still 398 more in 90 days, 132 more sold on the opportunities, just getting the appointments in. If they got their showroom, if we worked on those low closers, they'd go up to 154 based on the numbers they had. The knee-jerk reaction when you're low is get me more leads. That's what it is. I need more leads, spend more money. We're not looking at the efficiency. Look at both ends. If you have channels that are driving great traffic, spend. But make sure your team can handle it. BDC folks, I know you're the BDC, right? You're in charge. You have BDC. Who has BDCs here? Who's in charge, right? So here's the point about the BDCs. Staffing. I know you don't like spending money. Hate to say it. But I cannot tell you how many times that lack of efficiency is because you're not staffed properly. You think, well, we got 2 people back there. How many leads do they got? Oh, they get 600 leads. What? No wonder they're not hitting their numbers. They're just cherry picking. They're blowing through stuff. They're just trying to stay above everything and not get yelled at. You're not maximizing because you're not staffing. Oh yeah, but that's going to cost me money. Well, then stop marketing. Oh, I can't stop marketing. I need leads. But you don't have the people to handle leads. Well, where am I going to get the money to pay for it? Why don't you take $3,000 out of your marketing budget and hire another person? Yeah, but then all of my leads will go down. This is the cyclical thing that I talk about a lot. And sometimes my head hurts. So in this true cost of internet sales process, this is what we talk about. Again, these are free. They're not to generate business. Go use them. They're helpful for you. Go plug in your numbers from last month. We created this grid in there. It's an Excel spreadsheet. You can download it. It's already properly filled out, meaning that all the functions are in there. So here's up at the top what the performance goal should be. We put in what the average gross is. What do you make off of selling a car? Whatever that number is, plug it in. Okay. Here's your true opportunities you had last month. How many people walked in the showroom? How many sales phone calls came in? How many internet leads, right? Plugs in and tells you what you should have sold off of those, right? Then you plug in what you actually sold. Then it'll tell you what you exceeded or missed. So in this case, 33 units shy times your gross times 12, almost $750,000 you're missing out on what you have. You don't need more. All of a sudden, when they plugged in numbers, dealers go, smile, walk out of the room and scream, because they go, what do you mean we're missing? I'm like, it's okay, but now you have data to go target what we need help on. It's not gut anymore. It's not emotions anymore. It's not I think we're doing well or we're hitting numbers, because realistically, you might be doing cartwheels because you hit 207. But in reality, with the money you're spending, you're still losing $750,000. But you're happy you sold 200, you're number 1 in the region, but at the end of the day, I'm really losing $750,000. Something to think about. So again, in this research report, MAP, minimum acceptable performance. PAR is average, target, that's what you want to work people to. So when you're laying your, averaging your people out in your BDC or your salespeople, this isn't just BDC, your salespeople get leads. If they go, leads go right to your salespeople, are you holding them accountable too, right? Do you have a process for everything? What do you do? Day 1, day 2, day 3 for a new lead. What happens if I come in and you don't sell me and I walk out the door? Whose job is it to follow up? What's the process? How often? Has to be written out or else you can't manage it. Then you can hold them to the metrics. Then you can build skills on targeted training, not general training, right? We don't like general training. Put everybody in a room, or you have the sales meetings. I've sat in them. Our numbers are down and we got to all go out there. 4 people are killing it and they're sitting in there going, why the hell am I in here? I'm feeling bad now. Now they're making me feel, now I'm pissed off. You don't appreciate the fact that I'm doing a great job, right? Same thing. We're great. We're awesome. And there's 3 people going, I hope they didn't look at my numbers. Please don't look at my numbers. And they sneak out the back because you didn't fix them. More importantly, you didn't tell people to say, hold on a second. What did we do this month to hit those numbers? What did we do? We didn't just make calls. What did we do? So we can do it again. Remember, actionable things that we want to work on. And then run your meeting from your CRM. Open up the CRM, randomly pull a couple leads, make sure people are on process. If they know you're looking, they're going to be good. They don't want to be called out for bad. They want to be called out for good. The only way you're going to do that is open up the CRM, put it on a big screen, say, okay, great. Hey, what do you have going today? I got this, this, and this. That helps me as a manager. If I know you got 2 people coming in for an appointment, I'll check up later on. If you don't have appointments coming in, what are you doing for the rest of the day? What emails are you doing? What phone calls are you doing? What prospecting are you doing? Then I can help you versus all I'm focused on are, do you have appointments? I want to know what they're doing because then before you leave, let's open the CRM. Did you make phone calls? Did you close out all that work? Awesome job. Or, what about these 4 leads that didn't happen? What'd you do? See what I'm saying? That's accountability. That's the way you get efficiencies. The last piece out of all of this is the last piece from, remember this one here, 0 moment of truth, which becomes the next person's ZMOT after that experience, but no one told you how to do it. That's how you do it. If you want to put things into the 0 moment of truth that really matter, get reviews. I see reviews are starting here. It reminds me a little of the US about 3 or 4 years ago. People would say, no one reads reviews about dealers because there is no reviews. Now there's tons of reviews and people read reviews. It's important that you get your customers to validate your marketing claims. Remember that experience, that why buy, that first thing, all the way up there, why do business? That's what you're telling people you're going to do. You need people to say, yep, they did it. Go there. That's more valuable than you pushing out more of your marketing. They have to have these people telling you this is great. So again, we ask people in our surveys, what are the impact of online reviews? Before you visit a dealership, will you read online reviews? 3 out of 4 said, absolutely I will. If you read 3 negative reviews in the last month, would you reconsider doing business? Maybe, yes, 3/4 are on the fence. 1/4 is like, absolutely. So the impact of reviews. And as I said, if you track your Google My Business and tag it and see, as you get more reviews, remember, think about it. I type in Ford dealer in the area. I'm looking for Opel, blah, blah, and I get people with reviews or just auto dealers in this area. The ones with the most reviews, they're staying on my list. I'm clicking through their website. That's free traffic. If you had to pay for it, cost you money. Reviews help you get free traffic to your website. Look at service. Are online service reviews important? Yes. Half of the people said absolutely, but look over here. How many of your dealerships asked you to do it? 3 out of 4 said, nobody ever asked me. They're important to people, but nobody in the dealership's asking for reviews. Now I know most of you, this is the knee-jerk reaction. Glenn, I'm never going to get my people to do this. They're never going to ask. People are uncomfortable. Okay? Here's why it's important. And this, I didn't think it was happening here because I didn't see it, but Paul has assured me it is. In your Google My Business, it's now pulling in reviews from other websites. Google used to not do this. They took them out. Now they're pulling in. So like this dealer has reviews right in the thing. Here's Facebook, DealerRater, Cars.com. Edmunds is one of the big ones coming in. So for you guys, if you have Facebook, it's going to show there. That's more validation. On the bad side is if you're not paying attention and it pulls in and you have negative reviews, that's not good. So you might have great Google reviews, but all of a sudden you have 2 other review sites and they're horrible, not bad. So pay attention to that as you're typing in your business name, see if it's pulling in it, okay? But reviews. So here's the thing, when people tell me they can't get people to do it, the problem is they're trying to get everybody to do it, and you can't get a whole team of people to do anything. You can't get 5 people to agree on anything. It doesn't matter, won't happen. They had an argument over a soccer team at lunch. So, you can't have that. I said, I need a soccer jersey for my son, and there was almost a fist fight over whose soccer jersey I should get. So anyway, here's what I say. The example dealer, new and used, they sell 100. Service, usually in the US, is about 3 times, could be more. Round nice numbers, 400 people pay money every single month to that dealership. So I tell them, listen, can you get just 1%? They all laugh. 1%, that's easy. 1%, I'd get 1 review a week. At the end of the year, I'd have 52 reviews. That's 1%. I'm going to get more than 1%, but I just ask them 1%. Or if I go to the service folks, you're my service team, can you guys get 1 between you as a team this week? Everyone's going, sure. You sales, can you get 1? Yep, good. Now I got 100. Now, dealers will go, yeah, but that's not fair because I know he's going to be the one who always gets them and no one else. I don't care. I need the reviews. What's going to happen is people are going to come in and ask for you. Because when they read the reviews, they're going to see, what's your name?
Walt.
Huh?
Walt. Yes.
Walton?
No, Walt.
Walt.
Yes.
Okay, that's all right. I got you.
You can call what you want.
I can call him what I want. No, you don't want that. All right. So they come in and all of a sudden they say, Walt did a great job. Walt did a great job. Walt did a great job. They're going to come in and say, where's Walt? Except you're going, hi, how can I help you? I'm here to see Walt. Do you have an appointment? No. Well, I can help you. I need Walt. Now, you're going to say that doesn't happen. It happens in every single dealership. It takes about 2 months, but it happens. I've been there when it happens. I've watched people sit there and wait for somebody because they said the reviews, they trusted. The customer said, remember, buying a car, servicing a car, is scary to a lot of people. They don't understand. It's still like crazy. But if I know, 1, this dealership has been approved by customers, and Walt's been approved by customers, guess what? I'm going to Walt. It happens every day. Then all of a sudden he's going, how the hell is he getting all these people over here? His reviews. Now he starts doing reviews. Be selfish. Get 1 out of them. What out of them? You get 100. And again, 1 video testimonial a month is great. You don't need, again, if you try to make them do too much, they're going to say, I'm busy. Hey, service folks, can you get me 1 person on camera who can just tell me why they like servicing their car here this whole month? They're like laughing. Sure, we'll get it. Walt, get on that. And he gets it, right? And we're good. So, where's my... Uh-oh, it's dying here. Oh, that's why. So... There we go. Now, so it has to be about, something popped up on my calendar. It has to be about reputation marketing now. Anything that you win an award, having a slider on the front saying, see what our customers say about us, that's what it's about. You have to be proud that your customers are validating your great service. So, in summary, right, this whole experience thing, it all ties together. It all starts with, why should someone do business with you, and can they find that reason online? Then we move over to the channels. What channels can your team handle correctly? Do you use them internally, meaning I have people internally? Well, are they trained? And are you trained to manage them? Or if I'm using a vendor, am I trained enough to understand what they're telling me? And are they speaking to me in language I understand, right? Then we're going to connect, and I'm going to track the results, right? Are my customers engaged? Am I using marketing that's actually sending people who are doing something on my website? Then, do I have processes that are supporting, right? If I'm telling people, oh, we treat you like family, but I may put you on hold for a minute, that's not treating me like family. If I'm making you wait for a long time, that's not making it a smooth, great experience. So again, all my processes have to support. Are you tracking all the conversions, and how are you training your team? Ongoing training, consistent training, targeted training. And then lastly, are you getting reviews? Are you leveraging them online? Those are great things to put in social media. Awesome things to put in social media. Put that in a banner ad. Right? Think about that. Write a blog post. Somebody bought a car from a town that you want to draw from. There's a blog post. Get a video. Awesome types of stuff. Basically, are your customers happy? Are you asking them at any moment in time during the year, how did we do and how could we do better? Don't rely on the manufacturer. I know the manufacturer sends out things in the States and they're like, well, we don't want to bother our customers. They're your customers. Ask them, what could we do better? They probably have a couple ideas that you didn't think about that will help you. So again, you got to think of this whole piece. If you think of all these little pods without connecting them all, then that's all you're going to have. You're going to have one pod over here that doesn't know what's going on. This is the future of what we're teaching and we're pushing our clients. That first piece we've always talked about. I've been pushing this last one, but it's this fact that everything's starting to connect, right? Whew. Any questions about any of this? I know it's a lot. So here's the key. That's my email at the bottom. That's the way you can connect with me. You can always connect with Paul. If you have any questions, you walk out of here and your brain tomorrow goes, wait a minute, send me an email. Contact Paul. If you want me to look at something on your website, you want my team to look at your website, let me know. We'll look at your website. We'll just need access to a couple things. We can check out some things. If you say, hey, what about this? What about this? Let us help you. Like I said, Paul has classes. We have online classes. If you want advice on education, we're here to help you. The key is you can be empowered now to master your marketing. Instead of just hoping your marketing's working, you guys can really maintain it. So again, this is my connection. I thank you so much for your attention. I know it was a long day, but I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Bedankt voor het luisteren naar Digital Car Dealer Workshop, de podcast. Volgende week is er weer een nieuwe uitzending met wederom een interessante gast en boeiende onderwerpen. Kijk voor meer informatie en de notes van deze uitzending op www.dcdw.nl/podcast. En wilt u meer weten over DCDW? Kijkt u dan op dcdw.nl. De DCDW podcast wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door Nieuweautokopen.nl. Marktplaats, Autodata Nederland, taGGleAuto, Bovemij, UnameIT en Tevreden.nl.